Hello, good morning, happy Monday. I hope you have a great start to your week. So last week I shared a video on Friday, it was Friday the 13th, a launch of the Tuttle Twins True Conspiracies book. When I recorded that video and even when I edited it down, it was really long. It was about 20 minutes. And so I figured that was too long. I split the video up into two parts. So the first part that you saw on Friday was just the review of the newest book. Now, the second part of that video that I recorded was essentially like an updated guide, because on my channel, you'll see that I have talked about all the products as they came out, as they were being launched. But I wanted to have like a one comprehensive video where I shared all of the resources, and there's still more, and particularly how we utilize them in our homeschooling, because we have a very intentionally minimalistic way of homeschooling. And so sometimes I get the questions, well, how do you incorporate these resources? So that's what this video is going to be. I'm going to post that second part where I just have an update of going over all of the products, my thoughts on them, my favorites, and how I incorporate them in our very relaxed, intentional, but minimalistic homeschooling style. So I hope you enjoy this content. I'm posting it here. I'm also going to leave in the description below a link to a playlist where, again, I kind of, as they come out, I know some of the videos are dated and it's not always the best video or audio quality. I'm sorry about that, but you can see, this is not just a last minute thing. Like, I've loved these products since the first book came out. And there's also an interview with the author that I will leave linked down below. And I asked him all the questions that I know a lot of my viewers kind of have some hesitations about. So I asked him those questions too. So I will leave all of those resources and videos in the description down below so you can, have your own opinion on it based on everything. And if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments down below. All right, so here's that second part of the video. So the first things that came out were the standalone books. These are great to read in one sitting, so great to read aloud. Now, many years ago, it feels like now, I even hosted a book club. I rented a meeting room at one of the local libraries where I lived and invited people to come over. And so I would read aloud the book, and then at the end, it has some glossary of terms, discussion questions, and then there's also an activity book for each book. So I'd print out the sheets and we'd go ahead and do the worksheets. But after I'd read aloud the book, I'd ask the questions and we have a good discussion. Some of my favorites are The Golden Rule, and this one has like a Ron Paul character in it. The Law, this is based off of The Law by Frederick Bastiat, which is actually an RC book also. There's Food Truck Fiasco, The Miraculous Pencil. This is really great. Talking about the free market, messed up market. We have The Leviathan Crisis. I know we have the Creature from Jekyll Island, but I don't know where that book went. Road to Serfdom. I really like this one. It had to do with central planning and unintended consequences when you have too much government involvement. And I feel like this is based off of F.A. Hayek's famous book, The Road to Serfdom. Education Vacation. This is especially great for homeschooling parents, and it features longtime educator John Taylor Gatto, which I know is very popular in the homeschooling movement, and his book, The Underground History of American Education. So that's sort of the inspiration basis for this book. Show Business, of course, The Search for Atlas, and I have another one of The Law. And I almost forgot Fate of the Future. This is based off of Murray Rothbard's book, Anatomy of the State. So you're dealing with sort of dystopian kind of society and coercion and stuff like that. So I love that it just takes these concepts and these books, obviously meant for adults, and break them down into these chunks that kids can understand. And they really do take away the main points and ideas, because I hear my kids still talking about to this day, like inflation and different things like that. It's it sticks with them. It's written in a way that it really does stick with kids. So I incorporated these just by reading them aloud or doing a book club with our friends and reading them aloud. All right, so these are the books that are geared more for teens, and it's Choose Your Consequences, 1, 2, and 3. So we have number 1 is Hyperinflation Devastation. You can see the Tuttle Twins are a little bit more grown up here. We have The Pink House and Broken Window. So if you remember, and I actually have the Choose Your Own Adventure, like the 90s series or whatever. So it's kind of like that, but choose your own consequence instead of choose your own adventure. And these are great. I know my teens especially, they have read and reread these because they want to see all the possible outcomes. So this is something that they will read multiple times. So I believe that's what came out next is the teen books. So how I incorporated these into our homeschooling is just very simple, just either sandwiching them in between 2 books on their book list or swapping another book out. For example, on our homeschooling book list, there's a lot of like the same author, like a lot of Tom Swift books or a lot of Rover Boy books. So, just swapping out one of those for these, it keeps it fresh and they're like re-engaged with the reading portion of homeschooling, right? But there is a curriculum that came out, and I do have that as well. And I did a whole video on that. That's a lot of fun because they have like activities. And so if you're looking for like an economics, free market type of you want more like lesson plans and structures, then I really recommend you check out that curriculum. So I'll leave a link down below, but it's printable. So I don't really have anything to show you physically, which is nice, not having something else to take up space on your shelves, right? More space for books. But anyhow, so yeah, then came the guidebooks. And so that's the new one, True Conspiracies. But like I talked about, there's Inspiring Entrepreneurs, Beware Your Bias, which is so great, Courageous Heroes, and Logical Fallacies. This is especially, I think, a must read. And so again, I would just sandwich these books in with other books that they're reading for homeschooling, or make it like the extra read of the day. And they're very short chapters. And I think this is really key for teenagers to learn these skills, especially like how to have productive conversations and discussions with those that believe differently than you. And it has things like slippery slope or the ad hominem attack, so that at least they are aware of the tactic, right? Aware of the straw man, aware of all of that, and how to pivot and bring it back to the actual issue at hand. It's a great skill to learn. I think everybody should read this and be aware of it. But yes, especially teenagers today, and what, if they want to make any kind of impact or change in their time, in their generation, that's such a great book. All of these are really. So this is the new one for that one. So what I like to do is either just assign it as part of their homeschool reading, or I will read aloud a couple of pages, like one example, like one courageous hero or one inspiring entrepreneur, during the evening read aloud time. We also have these really fun kid board books. So we have the ABCs, the American Revolution, economics, the ABCs of economics, and the ABCs of liberty. They're different, right? They're cute, they're different. Like A is for association, B is for bodily autonomy, C is for consent, D is for due process, E, equality under the law. So it's a little bit different than most ABC baby board books. I think they're really cute, they're really funny. So this would make a great gift for any one of your friends that has a new baby or a toddler. Great gift here. And last but not least, we have the history book. So this is volume 1, 1215 to 1776, and actually I have 2 copies of this one, 1776 to 1791, volume 2. So how we use this in homeschooling is my 2 oldest teen daughters, almost 17 and 16, they each have one of these. I just find it easier if they each have one. And after they're done with all of their homeschooling, during their reading time, they read a few pages, and they really like it. They tell me they feel like they're actually like really learning about history. They're learning a lot. Again, it's very engaging. They'll have sections like more about this, great illustrations. There's some thoughts from the authors and illustrators. So timelines, again, just really easy, and even incorporating some recent events, how it all ties together. Again, they do such a great job of always looking at sort of the big picture and how it applies to us today, what we can learn about, what we can learn from it and apply to our own daily lives. And then my 12-year-old is reading book 1. So for me personally, I think that's a really good age, starting at age 12, to go ahead and read this in addition to whatever curriculum you're doing, or if you want to actually make this your standalone history curriculum. Because another thing that they're really great at is always providing you with additional resources and worksheets. There's also audiobooks, so you can listen to them in the car. They do a really great job of that. You really could just make this your standalone curriculum. All right, thank you so much for watching. Again, I hope you found that helpful, and I will leave links in the description below. Now, if you like this type of content, again, I think you would really enjoy that interview with the author Connor Boyack. I hope you'll check it out. But YouTube's algorithm thinks you would like this video instead. So whichever one you choose, I will see you there. Bye for now.